Hello, beautiful ones. This is Christina. Good evening, or good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. It's evening here in Puerto Vallarta. It's actually a little odd for me sometimes because I'm preparing for an evening show, and then it's still bright and sunny outside. So I'm thinking, oh, I have lots of time because I kind of work in timelessness. So for the most part, and then I lose track and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already time to go. So, and the day went by very quickly. Now, this is my intuitive chat. I'll just wait and see if anybody shows up. And the theme for tonight that I wanted to put out there, and the reason I wanted to do this because I've had some other people talk about it and they wanted to share it. So I thought, well, why not? I'll just, do an evening of intuitive chat and hopefully connect with people who have had an angel encounter or an angel experience. You may not know you've had one, but most people have that sense, even if they cannot for sure say 100% that that's what it is, but they have a sense of it. And everybody's experience is different, but I would love to hear. So if there's anybody out there, I'll just sit here and wait. There were some people that saying that were going to join me, and hopefully if you want to come into the Google Hangout, you have to let me know, and I will send you, I'll have to send it to you privately, otherwise we'll just have everybody on here. And you can join me in the Hangout. Now, some people know me, if they're tuning in tonight or they tune in later, they know that I already work with angels. As a metaphysical practitioner, I work with a beautiful and profound and powerful healing modality called Valvaspata, and it's actually an angelic healing modality. So I work with angels all the time. Though specifically for this particular healing modality, it's not to say that there are not, there's, who knows how many angels there are. There's lots of angels. And you can encounter them in a whole lot of different ways. A lot of people may have what's called, or most people have what's called an guardian angel or a spirit angel that, walks with them, who could be maybe a family member. Oh, sorry about that. Motorcycles passing by. Anyways, there's a lot of different angels there. And how one can experience them is an individual thing, in my opinion. So, actually, I feel like I need to do, this is my little angel bell. Maybe we need to call them. I mean, the Valvaspata angels are actually called specifically to work with this modality. So that's very specific. In this sense, maybe I'm calling some other angels. And even some angel people, humans, angel humans, or angel beings who want to come in and share a story. I can share an experience that I've had. I've had different experiences and in different ways. And for me, I interpret them as being an angel just because of their presence. The enormity of their presence, the beautiful feeling that one has, the goosebumps that you get. I mean, you get goosebumps for different reasons. You get goosebumps. Confirmation of truth is one way that, like, if you speak a truth or experience something, and if it's very real, you can get goosebumps through your body. So usually it's confirmation of truth, or it's an experience, or it's a presence. Again, everybody's different, but those are the common sensations that happen when there is a presence of an angel or another being in the room. And of course, there's other kinds of sensations. This is an interesting thing. This is different. The difference between experiencing a angel or a spirit, in a sense, someone who's crossed over and is in more of their light body, as opposed to a more darker being. That's a whole different experience. We're not going to talk about that tonight. Maybe another show. And I may end up doing that based on a lot of things that are going out there, or people who contacted me, or things that I'm seeing. So I probably will do another show a little more sort of paranormal, in the sense of maybe understanding that or helping to clear that. That's a whole different thing. But today it's about angels, and if you've had an angel encounter, hello, there's someone there. And so my experience that I've had outside of working with the modality is their presence, more say. There are people who can see clairvoyantly, which means you see with your third eye externally, like you can see the hidden realm, but you see that in an external way through your third eye. Then there's inner sight, so you see within the mind's eye, or within the inner eye, and I see more that way. But I'm more clairvoyant and clairaudient. And presences, I mean, for me, that's kind of almost a daily thing, not 24 hours, but it can be quite constant, depending on what I'm doing or where I am. So there's different ways that I've encountered an angel. Oh my gosh, you know what I keep forgetting to do, because I am in a Google Hangout, I keep forgetting to go to where the chat is. So give me a minute to go to where the chat is. Otherwise, I'm going to think I'm ignoring anybody that's there. And I really can't tell sometimes who's there. See, over here it says 1, over here it says 2. So let me go over here to the control room and see if it's anybody I know or just people stopping by. Well, there was 2 people who told me they were going to come and share their angel experiences. Maybe even 3. So we'll see if they come. They show up. It could be a long show or it could be a short show. Hello, Stacy. How are you? My moderator. Hello, Emily, sweetie. How are you? I really appreciate you coming. This might be something very different for you, but I'm glad you're there. Thank you. So the title of my chat tonight is, have you had an angel experience? Encounter or capture? Actually, I want to show a capture picture that I have, but I'm going to wait a little while and just see if anybody else comes on, or the people that said that they were maybe. I'm good, sweetie. How are you? Had a little busy day today. But as you know, I popped into Gina's for a little while, and I'm hoping Gina's supposed to join us. And I popped into your live a little bit, but I was making a video, so that was kind of taking up my computer band, and I couldn't do a lot, and then I was doing other things. So, and then I need to prepare for this. Okay. I'm glowing. Oh, thank you. I just had a shower. Even my hair is still wet. I was saying, like no one was here when I was talking at the beginning, is that, I set this for 8 o'clock so that some of the East Coast people, it's not too late for them who want to, join in. And it's kind of a good time for me. It's not as crazy out here. But then it's still light over here. So I'm in timelessness most of the time. And so I forget what time it is. And I'm like, oh, it's still light. I have time. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Look what time it is. It's 7:15 already. And I haven't even got ready. So I am. Oh, you have, honey? Oh, I would love to hear. I got goosebumps when you said that. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate that. Yeah. I love doing that digital art. I really do. And I thought maybe I'll try to showcase. I've tried to showcase it in a different way before. And so try something different now. And we'll see how that goes. I actually might try to do videos where I can do a video where I'm creating it. So you guys can watch me create it. I don't know if I'll do that in a live stream or if I'll do it, record it. So if I record it, then I can edit if it doesn't turn out too good. But yeah, we'll see. That's what I'm working on. But Steve is coming in a couple of days, so I won't be able to do as much because when he comes here, we're kind of busy. So Emily, I want to go back and read. You said you've had an encounter, a glowing cloud in the sky shaped like an angel with wings. Yeah, a lot of us have that, but it was really glowing, was it? That's the time that you want to have a camera. And actually, I will show you my picture. I got goosebumps, so there's some, well, it always happens on here, doesn't it? I'm very happy for you, but you'll be polite tonight, right? Thank you, Rob's Exotic Aquatics. I know you always put wonderful icons, and I appreciate that. And congratulations. You took a picture? Oh, really? You want to come on and share? I'm going to share mine. I have it sitting up here, so when we get into the, you know what, I have to go to Twitter first because I did post if there's any. I have a problem with my Twitter, so I don't even know if anybody will see what I posted. Twitter has really messed up my Twitter. So let's see if there's anybody there. All right. See, this is kind of lagging a little bit today. I wonder why. No, I have a lot of impressions on. I better leave my Twitter open just in case. All right. So I'm going to close this window. Oh, I hope that's okay. I was just going to do the camera direct with, you know, the new camera that you can just click on right away. And that's wonderful, but then that doesn't, you can't do a Google Hangout there, so I had to go. All right. Okay, my cats are flying around out there. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Gina. Hello. Okay. I have like serious goosebumps because, and that's what I was saying earlier, that's when you can tell there's a presence there outside of like confirmation of truth or, you know, presences. And I mean goosebumps in the sense that it makes you tingle and you feel, it feels nice and you, or it feels joyful or loving or whatever. If it feels, you have goosebumps and it feels uncomfortable because your body knows everything. Your body tells the truth. It only knows how to tell the truth. So, and most of us don't, many don't understand, but it only knows how to tell the truth. So when it's an uncomfortable goosebump or shivers or, you know the difference of the energy or the presence. So can you send it? Oh, yeah, lots of people had that, honey. Depends on where you are. I mean, I'm going to do a whole different show on that. I didn't really want to do a show on that, but there's just so many. As I start connecting with more and more people, or if I go leave comments on certain things where I see stuff like that and people are like, oh, you know, they want to know more, they want to understand more. This is part of my business also of what I do. So, but yeah, we're not going to talk about that today, hopefully. I'd rather stick on an angel experience or any kind of light being experience. I'm trying to think of where you want to, you're going to email it to me? Do you want to email it to me? I have my email. Well, you know what? On the live stream, I don't have a lot of information in the description yet, but you can email it to me. And what I could do is, if you want, because I'm going to do the screen share here, I can open it up. Gina, did you want to come on? Did you want to come on? I know you shared your story, but we have some different people here today, so, and hopefully some others will come in. I'm waiting for someone else who told me they had an angel experience he kind of, oh, you're too young. Okay. Well, how do you send it to me? I'm pretty savvy on a computer, but right now I can't think of how you can send it to me. You don't have it. I'm guessing you don't have a Twitter either. Hey, can we? No, can't do that in here. I think you have to be in my Google Hangout, honey, to share it on the screen. That's the only way I know how to have it sent to me. You have Instagram? Well, I do too, and I'm not as savvy on there as I am with other things. I don't know, do you want, but the thing is, you can for a few minutes? Okay, well, if you want to come in and share your just your angel story again if you want. There's going to be some new people here. Let me get the Google Hangout. You know, I'm always learning on here how to do things. So, oops, okay. I'll send you the link. I have my picture up here too. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it. Can I send you privately, Gina, or we can go to, I'm going to add you as a moderator if that's okay, even though you're just here for a little while. Because I think, I'm not sure, but I heard someone else say this. Does this enable me to send you? No. How does that enable me? Anyways, okay. I'm going to go to Twitter, Gina, and I'm going to send you the link. If my Twitter works. It's only half works. And they no longer are taking support, assisting anybody with support. Okay, now I'm following nobody on Twitter. I was following like 4,000 people, and it's 0 now. Okay, I've just sent the link to you, Gina, via Twitter. Okay, go back to the chat. Okay, Emily, I'm really thinking. Because then you would have to give out your Instagram here. And I don't want to put you in any way because I'm sure your parents want you, I know you do the live streams and you do have your YouTube channel, but I understand that you really shouldn't give it out to everybody. So, let me think. I've been on the computer all day. My brain's a little... You know what? You know what? You can't send a picture, but unless you're okay with putting your Instagram here, your mom doesn't mind? Okay, all right. Otherwise, I was going to say, since we're both subscribed to each other, that you could send me the link to your Instagram in YouTube, but if it's okay to put that there. And then the tricky part is me trying to get... well, I tell you what mine is. Let me post mine here. Hold on. I will post my Twitter here. Twitter, not Twitter, Instagram. Instagram. Sorry about all the noise outside, everyone, because Instagram. Wait. So let me see. You're M_02 girl. You tell me when you're in there, because I'm actually not looking at the window. I'm in the chat. Well, I'll hear you when you come in. So, and then when she comes in, I'll show my picture. Where's Andrew? Andrew he told me he has an angel story he wants to share. I'm not sure what time zone he's in. You will friend me? Okay. Let me go to my Instagram here. Good thing I brought my phone here. So we have, like, I feel like about 12 presences. See, look, goosebumps. Speak truth. 12 presences. So I don't know who else is going to be joining us, but it should be interesting. Okay, I am there. Oh, wow. I have a lot of, because I haven't been on today. Okay. So I'm going to look for you also, just in case. Because sometimes I can't find people on Instagram. AM Girl. Do you have you have a picture of you or no? _02. There you are, cutie pie. Okay, that's such a cute picture. I love it. You look much younger there. All right, I'm following you. I'm following you, Emily. So cute. I love the presence of children, that conscious children who are, you know, open and aware and interested. And it's 8:21. Oh, so we're on the same time zone. Okay. Well, I know you're not going to say where you are, but we're in the same time zone, Central Time. So, all right. It's not private. What's not private? No, I already found you. Now we need to figure out. Now we need to figure out how to. Did you find me? Like, did you see that I just added you, Mystic Musing, and then you can. Oh, is that your mom and dad? You look like a little angel yourself. Okay, no problem. So, Gina, did you get the link? You know, I've been on Twitter for 10 years and I never had this problem, and they've destroyed my, for the most part, they've totally like messed up my Twitter. Ten years of like connecting with people and following people, and now I have 0. Anyways, everything has a purpose. Okay, Stacy, are you there or are you gone? Oh my, I have to close these windows. Okay, you know what I'm going to do while I'm waiting? I'm going to put my picture that I captured. This is the only thing, you know, because I can tell you guys stories and, you know, experiences and different kind of, you know, that I know that are angel experiences outside of as with the angels that I work specifically with a modality. You know, I can tell you that, but this is the closest thing that I have to like a physical capture. And some people might deny it, but so let me go to the Hangout and see if I can share that. So excuse me, well, I'm not in the, you sent it? Okay. Okay, I see you're following me. Isn't it supposed to pop up and tell me that I have a DM? I don't see anything. Maybe it takes a while to get here. What do you think? I'm there. I'm there. Okay. Oh, here we go. It just arrived. Around about December 20th, 2000. Oh, not too long ago. Okay, it's just uploading here. Did you only send it to me or did you post it on your Instagram? I can tell this is delayed. From the Kanye thing? Oh, Stacy, I am sure, because I mean, like, I don't do a lot of like responding to people on Twitter once in a while, but after he was sort of, you know, I'm sure you heard in the news some of the whatever things that are out there about him, but there was a couple of times, and you know, for me, I just I felt to respond to a couple of things that he posted. It was nice. The only thing was that, and it wasn't even to that one. It wasn't. It was actually something that was very like enlightening. Boom, they locked my account, and then I got back in, and then about 10 or 12 days later, I responded to something else, and boom, they locked me out. And then after that, all this crazy thing started happening. Like they were saying, like I was an Autobot, and I couldn't post anymore. I couldn't tweet. I couldn't reply. I mean, I was back in. I couldn't do anything. I have no people that I am following. I had like 4,000 something. I have 0. I had almost 2,000 followers. I am down to 17. Like it's just been going down the last, I would have to say the last 10 days or more. Every day I lose like 25 to 50. So I wrote to them, but they
like it's just been going down the last 10 days or more.
I don't know what they're doing. Hello, darling.
So I wrote to them, but
there we are. There's two of us. Okay, I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? Because I don't know how to do this. I'm gonna try to send it. I'm gonna try to show it on here. Emily sent me a picture in the sky, and of course, you know what? A picture is not always the easiest thing. And to really even capture angels in the sky, and I've seen many angels in the sky, and they purposely, you know, make a shape for people to know that it's them or things like that. But it's not easy to take a picture of them. Actually, I can see a face in this one. I'm going to try to show it here, but I don't know how well you guys are going to see it. I don't know how big it is, Emily, because it's still trying to download or upload or whatever it's doing. I don't know. I'm going to try to, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Now I got to move this light. Let me take this light off. It's dark a little bit. I don't think it's going to show. No, you guys can't see that, can you? Can you see her picture?
Yes.
It's at the top. And actually for me, because I actually see things in pictures all the time, and I can see actually the face there. I know she didn't capture the whole, for her she had probably a different view of it, you know, from looking up. Thanks, Emily. Well, you know, she probably had, you know, that's what it felt like to her, right? I cannot see the chat. But let me go over here. At Christy Johnson, I'm so, hi, Christy, I didn't see you on there. I'm sorry. I apologize because I cannot see the chat when I'm in the Hangout. I never met my husband and grandmother, but I had a dream of her in her house and described the house to my husband, and he freaked out. Well, yeah, that's not weird to me, not in my world. That's wonderful. It was scary. Oh, he was scared, but you weren't scared. Were you scared? No, honey, nobody hacked my account. It's Twitter did it. They did write me back and said, oh, yes, well, yes, we see the issue now, and we're going to close this and we'll work on it. Well, that was like 2 weeks ago. So why was it scary? Okay, I'm going to come back to you, Christy. I just want, because Gina's here, and if Gina wants to, I want to show my picture, if I can do that on here. Quickly. I'm putting out the thoughts to Andrew because I think he said he was going to show up and tell his story. Oh gosh, it's doing this cuckoo-ness again. Nope. I have it sitting right there. I want to open it up. I want to close Twitter and see if we can do it this way. So this picture, I already told this before. Gina, you heard this before, but I'll just show. I didn't show you the picture. Let's see if we can get it on here. It doesn't do that tunnel. I think when I'm talking, it does a tunnel. So I should talk before. So it doesn't do that. I was in Playa del Carmen. I was in Cancun and visiting a friend. Her mother and I went on a trip, a bus trip to Playa del Carmen and to Tulum, which is, you know, an ancient sacred site. And we stopped in Playa del Carmen just to look. Well, it was a stopover anyways. And we went to sit on the beach. And it was beautiful. All there was just, you know, there wasn't a lot of people there that day either. There was a little table there in front of a little restaurant. I think there was one other table sitting there. That's it. And wide open ocean, beautiful and blue and sunny sky and gorgeous. And there was no people actually on the beach except for one couple that were walking by at the shoreline. I'm not very good at distance, but we weren't that far away, not really. So I just wanted to take a picture of the ocean. That's it. I didn't mind that the people were there, but I just want to take a picture of the ocean. So when I went back home, I was still living in Canada at that time. So this is November 2017. So I remember that. And this is what I got. Okay, hopefully I can share it. Please let me share it. Okay. Can you see it? Hello?
Looks like why am I echoing?
I don't know. Can you see it?
Yes. Looks like an angel wing.
Well, of course I put angel flight. So you can kind of tell, I mean, in the back, that there's the ocean.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell, you have to see it much closer, because there was a couple walking by, and it's kind of like in the middle to the left more so, and he had on a red shirt. And so and there were some waves coming in, so you can kind of see some white, maybe like an inch down in the picture. And that was the wave coming in, and there's the ocean. But this is what I got. And as I said to you before in the other show, when I was telling you about it, I'd asked my teacher, Almin, who's a mystic and a seer, and I sent her the picture. And so she said that at that time, an angel was coming down to the earth, and so I actually captured it. And that's all you see is a wing.
Yes. I definitely see a wing.
I mean, I don't know what the rest of all of this is. Like, I guess just the presence. I mean, like, it's completely covered, just an open ocean picture. And it took me so long to remember going, what is this? I don't remember taking this. And my first thought was, that looks like an angel wing. And I'm like, no, I mean, like, what? Because it's years ago. And so when I sent it to her, and she said, yeah, that's what you captured.
That's awesome.
So that's the best picture that I have physically, to show that, and some people will say, no, that's not what it is. And their mind will tell them that it's something else. But for me, that's all I see now. I cannot see anything else but an angel wing, or maybe even two. It could be two together. I think that it would probably make a wonderful painting if I could paint.
I have taken pictures of, well, I call them angel wings anyway, what looks like angel wings in the sky. And I've taken pictures of them. So it's something that I look out for all the time, whenever, because I'm still one of those people whose head is always in the clouds. So, I'm still a little kid at heart that likes to see the shapes in the clouds. And I've captured angel wings quite a few times. Clouds that look like angel wings, but I just say they're angel wings.
Well, and they are, and that's why because they're there in that dimension, and that's the form they make in this dimension to give us at least, to notice them. And I've had lots of those. I mean, I've had more than just angels. I've actually captured a really good picture. I don't know where it was last year when I was living, not last year, 2 years ago in Baja, that you can clearly see it's a dragon.
So, oh yes, I like to look for those too, because I'm one of the I'm obsessed with dragons. There was a time, well, I shouldn't say it was a time, but the only reason why I don't have it anymore is I think I just washed it one too many times and it's just shredded. But I had a dragon sitting on top of a clump of amethyst, and then in my room there was all my sheets, my comforter, every blanket was a dragon. And I think and it was something I always wanted on my bed, so I just kept washing and putting it back on, washing it, and I think I just shredded everything by washing it too much. But I have a book all about dragons, and it's just, I think it's my totem animal or spirit. I don't know.
Well, well, dragons, yeah, that's interesting. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. About dragons, but yeah. It's amazing, though. I mean, many of the hidden realms show themselves in so many ways, and some of them don't yet. And some people will see, and some people won't. You know who's here? Andrew is here. I wonder if he wants to come on. And I'm going to close this because otherwise I cannot go to the stop sharing. I want to stop sharing. So everybody who saw that, that's great. Thank you. There are comments also. There are back. Okay. So Andrew, where are you? Uh-oh. There it is. Andrew, did you not tell me hello? This is. Oh. Okay, now people are sharing stories after I had a weird experience of seeing a car come out of nowhere on the road. Oh, well, yes. Yes. It's not unusual. You're welcome, Stacy. So, Andrew, do you not have an angel story that you wanted to come on and share? Let me know and I'll send you the link. No, Christy Johnson. Thank you, Christy. Are you new? But you seem familiar to me. There's so many presences here right now. Like my body's just like chilled in a sense because of, the presence. Oh. Do you want to share yours again? Because there are some new people here.
Are you talking to me or Andrew?
I'm sorry, to you. Andrew, I don't know. I'm waiting for him to answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sitting here waiting for Andrew to respond. Sure, I share mine.
Yeah, because there's some new people. Wonderful.
I have a few had a few experiences.
Oh, yay.
I mentioned these a couple times in the other lives that I've done. But that I think my very first recognizable experience with angels was, I think I was about 17 years old, and I was on my way to school. I was going to this very tough test. It was a law test that I was preparing to take.
Mm-hmm.
And we have back in the Cayman Islands at the time, we had one stoplight. And I was approaching the one stoplight.
Okay.
At driving, I come up to the stoplight and my car just stops abruptly. My wheels are still spinning, but the car is at a complete stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up and the lights are red, which meant I should have been stopping to begin with. But I didn't. I guess my mind was just in I was thinking about the test that I was about to take. And the only explanation that I could come up with was either Jesus himself stopped that vehicle or the angel stopped the car, because there's no way that the car should have stopped, because my foot was actually still on the gas and the wheels were still turning. But I was at the stoplight. That was my first, and that's the only explanation I could come up with. Now, the next experience that I had was a few years ago after I was diagnosed with lupus. I was in my garden working, and I have to tell you about something that happened today as well. I was in my garden working. Yes, today. I was in my garden working. This was 5 years ago now. And all of a sudden, there was this bright light that just kind of surrounded the area where I was. I had on a wide brim hat, and I was well covered because the skin, the sun tends to affect my skin. So I was well covered, but all I could see was this bright light. So I looked up, and there was just a tall pillar of light that was just there. And it didn't look like a person. It was just a pillar of light, bright light. And I kind of had to like shield my face, but it was just bright and white.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as I glanced, I glanced up, what looked like wings just came open all the way up and then whoosh all the way down, and it shot straight up. And that was the one time I actually saw the angel. The next time, this was a few days. What was that?
This is a time when you need to have like a camera or video.
I know, but the thing is, I was working in the garden. I wasn't even.
Yeah, I know. I
had like gloves on, I was dirty. So, but the next time, see, even though I travel with a camera, these things happen so fast that you're not prepared. There's just no way that you can. It's like you're sitting there waiting for the angel to appear, and then when it does, it's like you're either so dumbfounded that you can't do anything, or it happens so quickly. So the second time that it happened was actually a few days later, a few days after the garden encounter, and I'm getting ready to go to work, and I get into my car, and all of a sudden, the entire back seat of my car is flooded with light. And I look in the rearview mirror, and it looks like wings just kind of spread out across the back seat. So that one I called Angels in the Back Seat, kind of based on the movie Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah.
So I call that Angels in the Back Seat. And then the other encounter, I've had a few when I was having different surgeries. When I had my hysterectomy and a half ago now, I call that one. Well, there were two experiences. There was the one where I had the angel. I was prepping, so they had all the IV and everything in, and my friend was sitting at the end of my bed talking to me. And I said to her, I said, "There's an angel at my head." And she kind of looked at me. She said, "Really?" I said, "Yes," because I could see the bright white light right here. So I said, "Yes, it's standing right on the right side of my head." And she said, "Well, it's here to protect you, obviously." So I went in. They came and took me into the OR, where they did a little bit more prepping. And at the time that I'm walking in, you could see like an orb of light just kind of traveling throughout the room. And then as I got into the room, and by that time, I'm guessing I'm under, because the next thing I remember is having a discussion with Jesus. He was seated at the end of my bed, and he was just talking to me, but his mouth never moved.
Yeah.
And I started doing a painting with that called, Conversation with Jesus, something to that effect. It's not quite finished yet, but that was one surgery experience. And then another surgery, the same thing happened. My friend is sitting there, and this is a friend who has come with me to almost every surgery I've had. And the same thing happened. There's either like an orb of light that travels in my room, or there's a pillar of light that stands at the back of my head, right, on my right-hand side. And today, I think I've just been blessed. But today I'm working in the yard again. There's a Japanese corner that I have that got kind of overgrown and beat up since we had Hurricane Irma pass through. And I really haven't had the chance to go out there to do anything, because I've had my granddaughter since I think September. So I really haven't had a chance to focus on that one corner. But today I decided I was going to go out there and do some work. And I'm working. And all this time I'm glancing up and making sure that it's not raining, because I have clothes on the line and I know there's a storm coming. So I'm literally, my head is like in the clouds again. But then I glanced over and I have these grapevines along the fence, and you could see like this ball of light just kind of traveling along the grapevine. And I just looked, and then I just looked away. But that was my most recent. I know that it was either a fairy or an angel, but it's one of them.
No, an angel one would be much larger, and it would probably, well, you're in the garden, and that's, fairies are elementals, so that's their world. And so they're going to be there, especially if you're doing gardening. And so, well, you know that you're very clairvoyant, right? So you're able to see a lot, and that's wonderful. And I think to be able to capture that and then create a painting or, you know, create something from that experience is a beautiful thing also. So it's very magical. And you can tell the difference between, you know, hi Armani, how are you? Oh, Armani, that's so cool that you're here. You know, I sent you a message a little while back to join me for something. Can't remember what it was. Oh, it was probably Dazzle Creators, but thank you for being here. Andrew, do you not have an angel experience? Did you not tell me that you had an angel experience that you want to share? I don't know if you answered me because... Gina, when you do a Google Hangout, do you have the chat right in front of you or do you have two things open? Because I have to go back and forth.
I have to go back and forth as well. I kind of click back and forth.
Yeah.
But I have the live stream on mute so that it doesn't interfere with the Google Hangouts.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to next time.
I think Armani said he had an experience like 2 days ago. Is that what he said?
Armani did? It went to your spam? Oh, I hardly ever get any spam. You know who was in my spam yesterday? Michelle. And I was like, what? I like almost never get spam. You want to come on? Yes, I would like you to come on. So I'm going to go to Twitter and I'm going to send you the link, okay? Hold on. Let me go there. I have goosebumps. I knew that there's going to be people here. There's angels here. That's all I know. They're like here for the story. See, look, goosebumps. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. I love that feeling though. Like it's like it makes me feel like a kid, but it makes me feel so joyful. Like, you know, in their presence. And sometimes it's so enormous though. I'll share another experience I had before. That's a little different, but still. Okay, let me go find Andrew on Twitter. At least I can still DM people. But it will tell you that I'm not following anybody.
I'm actually in my daughter's room, and I chose this location because her room is very active. And that's why I decided to come on from her room.
You know what? I want to say something. I'm trying to see. Now I have to go find everybody because I don't have them in my following. Andrew, can you send me a DM, please, so I can send it to you? This is ridiculous. But I do want to say something to you because when you were talking, I really saw and felt, especially in your garden, that there is some sort of, it might even be, and it's not a vortex, but more like a portal that's there, you know, where they can sort of come in and out. That makes them a little bit more visible. But, you know, they choose whether they want you to see them, even if you are clairvoyant. But Andrew, please send me a DM on Twitter because I don't know if you heard, my Twitter is messed up and it's really hard for me to find people. Gina came up, but yours is not coming up right now. Yes, I would like. So did you say Armani had an experience?
I thought that's what it said, but I think he said that I think he was talking about your message going to spam.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 days.
You know, and even if you think you've had one, but maybe your mind's saying, no, I didn't, or you feel a little hesitant or shy and think that, well, I've had this experience, but I'm not really sure. And, you know, sometimes I can tune in, or sometimes what happens is that everything to me is divinely orchestrated. So if you're here and you ask a question, you put it out there, we'll receive something. We'll receive some kind of message. Yeah, Michelle was in my, Michelle is aged gracefully. Graceful. Let's say gracefully. Well, she is graceful. All right, let me go to Twitter and see if Andrew sent me.
Is Michelle going to be coming on?
I don't know what she's doing. It shouldn't be too late for her. Tomorrow's not, she's not work. Does she work on Sundays? ATJ.
I'm not sure.
ATJH travels. I'm going to try again, but it's not showing up. Am I like the only one that's having this? Okay, wait, maybe I think I might have found you. Hold on. I mean, I was just like connecting with people this way to, come on. It was really quick and good. And then this happened. All right, I found you. So I'm sending you the Google Hangout link. Andrew, there you go. What's creepy? You're saying a lot of creepy things. Emily, are you creeped out? What are you creeped out about?
Oh, when Emily's talking about what I said, that I'm in my daughter's room, and my daughter's room is very active.
Oh, you know what? Don't be scared of that. I mean, you should. Okay, it's good to be aware, but trust how you feel. Don't be scared out because it's something you don't understand. People fear the unknown. That's given. But if you start to understand and you open up, you'll be able to understand when something feels beautiful and nice, and as opposed to something that doesn't. But try not to be instantly afraid when someone says, oh, there's activity there, because you know what? We're not the only beings that exist. There's many, many, many more. Christy, do you want to come on and share? Sorry, Gina?
I was going to ask Christy if she wants to come on, because she just said she has several stories of angels.
Yeah. Well, she already, did you hear what, I know it was, people are sharing here because people want to share whether, because, so there's a lot of us have people around us who are not open to this, don't want to hear this, afraid of this, and think you're crazy. And then when you do connect with someone who's open and will listen and understands or resonates or has, similar experiences, you get excited to share that. So you're more than well. Oh, just got busy bumping again. Oh my goodness. So they're always like, I always feel like they're always lined up behind me, when I come on here and do this kind of, show, chat. All right, Andrew, I sent you the link. Checking Twitter now. Okay. Christy, let me know if you would like to come in and share, because it's a little bit hard for, to do this back and forth from the chat to hear about stories. She just made a live. Who Christy did? Okay. All right. Stacy, you don't have any experiences? Stacy, you must have some experiences. You're a mean student, so you must have something. I was going to say something that went out of my mind. So we'll wait till it comes back. I think someone came in. Someone come in? Did someone just come in? I heard did you hear a pop? I heard a sound. Well,
I'm hearing dragonfly wings. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm always hearing.
Oh, what? I hear that, but I heard that last time, and I have a feeling it's my air conditioner, so I'm going to shut it off. Hi, Andrew.
How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you? I'm losing my voice. Welcome. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. So you're kind of one of the ones that prompted me to do this, and because I'm pretty sure you did say you had a story or experience, did you not?
Yeah, we actually have a couple. We also have one on the other spectrum, with the dark side of the whole spectrum as well. So.
Okay, well, I probably am going to do a show about that, so that, but if you want to share, we'll look at it and we'll see, because as soon as you start talking about things, I'm going to feel them, so. But go ahead, whatever you want to share.
All right. So I guess I'll start with one that happened a couple years back. We had experience. Well, first of all, yeah, it was that was my wife saying, but she reminded me. But yeah, we were in the car, and somebody had slammed their brakes in front of us. And it's one of those things that you think, oh, I did that. But it literally felt like my dad was in the car, and he's really big on us. He actually wrote a book. He actually wrote a book about it, but he's passed away now. But he wrote a book about this sort of thing. And it was like when you were coming up to the car and they had slammed their brakes, it felt like someone literally went in front of the car and pushed the car. And when we looked up, there was a figure, and all you could see like was white. You couldn't see nothing. There was no face. There was nothing. And it really felt like the car had stopped, and the car was still running. You know how like normally you would ready to get in a car accident, the car, you know, it feels like it's running, and you can feel like you take your foot off the gas. But at that point, the car, my dad's foot was still on the gas. The car was still in drive, but the car wasn't moving. And it was like, wow, because you knew that there was a force there. And like I said, you looked up and you saw the, you know, the white figure, and it just stopped.
Yeah.
And you know it was an angel, because we were going, it was actually coming off an exit on a freeway. We're going about 55 miles an hour, and this guy decided to dart in front of us at the last second and did that. You know, going that fast, your car's not going to stop like that.
Right. So you had assistance. Yeah.
Right. Another circumstance is like when we were, yeah, well, she says that. But anyways, we're in there instance where, you know, we were, you know, had been praying about something, and, you know, you asked for the peace, and the whole room went completely quiet. And we saw this figure. It was with my dad once again, and, you know, you see the figure walk in, and it was all dressed in white. You could see a face, but you couldn't make it out. And, you know, it reached out its hand like this, and the words that it said was, "Fear not."
Oh, you heard it. Okay.
So, and I've experienced some, you know, I guess you say like inner voices with angels too. But, you know, I keep mentioning my dad, but when he was alive, man, he just literally heard him all the time. He said he sat down with them. He was eating. And he'll be in the car ready to go to work, and he'd had him sit next to him and whatnot, you know. And we've had, the only time we've ever had, like, really know that an angel was physically there. Well, lots of times, but yeah, my wife just mentioned this. It had to be an angelic experience, because we were really struggling with money. Like, we didn't know how we're going to pay our mortgage. We didn't know how we're going to pay our car payment. And we were in a Walmart parking lot, and we were sitting with the windows down, and somebody comes up and they knock on the door. Like, who is this? And they said, "Here, I'm going to give you $150. Like, I don't know. I don't want the money back." And when we turned around, they were gone. So, you know, they say that, you know, angels can come in many forms, and it's just, you know, that was one of the most significant ones we've ever had, where, you know, it was a physical form. You could see it was a person, and they were gone. Kind of like in the chat where she's talking about how you seen them on the freeway with cars disappearing. I mean, that's one of the ones that was like, wow, it's just like, okay, they are real. They are here. They're all the time. So.
Oh, they're around, very much so. And as I say that, there are a lot of different certain types of angels. I was saying in the beginning, if you were, I don't know if you're here, but I work with a modality that is just an angel healing modality. And so those are specific angels, and they work just with this healing modality. But then, of course, there are lots of other angels, and there are, you know, spirit angels, and those of maybe some are your family members who have crossed over, and, you know, that's how they'll appear. And if they've crossed over, then they will be very light filled. So sometimes, though, for me, angels have a very large presence, a huge presence. Now, it sounds like to me that your father, and I don't know if, did you say you hear? Because he was probably, or maybe clairaudient, as I am. So you can hear them. Some people see, some people hear, some people feel, some people have all of those extra sensibilities, right? But I'm hearing somebody else talking, or I'm hearing myself talking somewhere else.
So that's my kid and my daughter talking to back.
Oh, okay. Because I was hearing all these other voices too.
Sorry.
So their presence is really huge. And a lot of I remember, now I have a teacher, and Stacy, who's here also, is also a student of the same teacher that I've been with for almost 20 years. Her name is Elmine, and she's an international mystic and a teacher. Now I've gone to many retreats. I've actually lived with her, and that's a whole different experience, and worked with her. But whenever we go to retreat, there's always a lot of angels present. And usually when there's so many of them present, we tend to feel sleepy, just because of the frequency. And so there's, because there's so many there. There was an experience in Curacao in one of the retreats where there were so many angels, and then all this, the retreat was outside. It was very beautiful there. And one of the tree branches, like a big, huge tree branch, just broke and fell to the ground. So Almeen, who's a seer, saw that it was just full of angels that were just like, they were just in the glass. And believe it or not, because there was probably, well, I don't know how you could really, I don't think she counted them, but she said there were so many that literally in physicality, it broke the tree. And that's why this huge tree branch broke. So, but their presence is so enormous. The best way I can say it, but then there's other spirit beings that come, and when you see them, there's a difference. I was explaining earlier, there is a difference, and your body knows the difference. It can feel the difference. You don't need to understand everything or, know who it is or what it is, but your body can feel. Does it feel good? Do you feel the love, the joy, the comfort? Like there's no fear. And then there's the other side where when your body knows when it's something that's not pleasant. Right? So, and a lot of people, I know Emily keeps talking about things there, and I'm not really sure if that's because she's maybe just scared or she's had those. But that's probably a whole different show. She heard a ghost. See, that's a difference too that I will kind of maybe should share with some people who don't understand. Ghosts do not appear light-filled, bright light. They do not appear that way at all. A lot of time they will look like, because basically what a ghost is a soul that has not crossed over. So they will look more like how they were, like especially if they were ill or they had a traumatic, passing, or whatever traumas that they had. So, and because they're sort of stuck, in limbo on the earth, they're not going to look good. That's when you know that's a ghost or something else or an entity. Spirits and angels it's completely opposite. It's the simplest way I can explain it, but your being will know. But then people who are just afraid of the unknown or the unseen and hidden realms, they might just be fearful of everything.
Right. Well, we've always been intrigued about the unknown. We watch, obviously, there's a lot of YouTube channels that have those sort of things. But me personally and my wife, we've always been intrigued about that sort of thing because, it's interesting, and especially whether, you believe in God or a higher power or angels or whatever. It's always very intriguing to know that we are not alone. It's just not the human race on Earth. There are spiritual beings that are around us,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the more that you awaken, the more that you open up. I mean, there are times you have to discern things, and that's why I say, trust your body, your being. It knows. You can apply that to anything. It knows when it's sick. It knows when there's, a situation that might be, that's your intuitive center. That's your intuitive self. And the more you tap into that and hone that, you become much more aware. And then at times your other abilities will, open. But it is a magical world. Magic's all around, mystical. And I use that just to, maybe make it a little bit light, but it really is. It's not just us. There's much more.
And
that is it.
We found experiences, you know, because we're pretty, you know, I don't know if you say church going, folk, or spiritual, but there's been several instances where even if you haven't physically seen angels, the atmosphere around changes, like the smells, things, and we've experienced where it smelled like you are standing in a garden full of flowers. It's just the most, you know, fragrant thing you've ever smelled. Or there's been instances where, you know, you can almost, I don't know, smell, it's like, you know, like incenses, stuff like that, you know, that, and even if there's nothing around that would smell like that, you've experienced that several times. And that's one of the most peaceful things. You can smell that, hey, it just gives that whole calming factor to it, you know. It's,
I know there were times, there was, this was actually, I think last week or week before, there's something I was doing. Now, the stove was not on. There was no cooking taking place in the house, nothing whatsoever. And all of a sudden, I stopped and I just took this big inhale of your breath. And the only thing I could say was, my grandmother's here. Because there's something that she used to cook, and the house just filled up with the aroma. And it was like, I just stood there, just kind of breathing it in, you know, because obviously, she's been dead for 35 years, but it was such a distinct aroma in the house. And one of the first things I did was check my stove to see if it was turned on and something was burning. But I know that I hadn't done any cooking. But there was this smell that was there, and that was the distinct smell of when she was cooking in the kitchen that I remember from time I was a child, because she died when I was 12.
Right.
So
it's very true. I actually, and I know there's a proper word for this, but many years ago when I started doing spiritual work, healing work, and I learned some different modalities before the one that I do now. I remember during a session with this is a long time ago, was a Reiki master, and then I learned some other modality, and I started to smell, and like all kinds of smells. And I was like, I don't know where this is coming from. I couldn't understand. And I thought, because the modality that I worked with is not non-touch, so I'm not actually touching the body. And so I didn't understand where all these smells came. Anyways, I learned later that I can smell, I guess if you want to say, etherically. So I was smelling this, the body and the etheric body and the aura and all that was releasing from what I was facilitating. So it's not just physically I was smelling other things. So from there, and I call myself smellient, but I know clairsmellient, but I know there's a proper word for it, but I don't know what it is. And from then on, oh my goodness, I could just, for me, my sense of smell is so heightened. Sometimes it's not easy to deal with things, but then when you can smell, and that's what you are, you're smelling etherically, Andrew, you know, and Gina, and a lot of times, those are loved ones, you know, that are passed. This is what they'll do. A familiar smell, that's what they'll come forth with their presence, and they'll present that there, because then you have an instant recognition, you know, and you know what that is. A lot of times, like my teacher, I know when she's present, not physically, but, you know, is when we will smell roses, because that is like her scent. It's her favorite flower, but it's her scent for her presence. So I will know. And many of her students will say, I'll say the same thing. They will smell roses, so they will know she's around. Or, you know, my mother sometimes does certain things like that when she comes. She does different things too. Sometimes she'll turn the light on, or I'll find something over here that wasn't there, or I'll smell something. And so, yeah, the hidden realms do that a lot, present smells. And it's very interesting that you can't deny a smell, right? If you know that there isn't something there that isn't obvious to say, okay, well, here's this, they'll have this in front of me. Okay, I can smell that or whatever. But if there isn't anything there that can relate to what that is, you know,
Yeah.
You can't deny, because I'll show you something. This is very metaphysical. Stacy's probably the only one to really hear and will understand what I'm saying immediately. But the sense of smell is the only thing that did not fall in consciousness. When we forgot who we are, our other senses that became dormant or closed or whatever, our sense of smell never did. And the sense of smell actually triggers cellular memory. So that's why I work with these fragrances also, because they trigger and they do healing and that. But this is what the sense of smell is. So it does trigger memory. So that kind of puts it in another little perspective. So you understand, like, oh, you knew that was your grandmother, or, you know, because it triggers the memory. All the experience is in your cells, in your cellular memory. So right there, you know, it's all the connection, like, oh, that's my grandmother, because I remember that smell as a child.
Yeah.
You know, but then when you start to open up, if you go out and walk in nature, you'll start to see that you'll be able to see, be able to, well, you might be able to see, but smell things even beyond what you know them to normally smell like. Even beyond that, like flowers, when your senses start to heighten, I don't know, it's experiential. This is one thing that's experiential, and I enjoy it so much, except for when it's not a very pleasant smell, and, you know, I can smell it, you know, too much, so then I've got to move away from that. But not to get too off topic, spirits and beings that do, a lot of them have their own fragrance. Like all of us have our own fragrance, right? Each one of us.
Yeah, true.
So does the rest of existence, in a sense, has their own smell, like, you know, their own essence, and that comes with in my eye, it's a frequency and a tone and a smell. So it's a wonderful thing. I don't really know what specific angels smell like, but I can tell you with the fragrances that I work with, each one of them have an angel. So that has a smell, I feel, for me, that's associated to that. So anyways, it's all very interesting, and life is really much more magical than what people even recognize or remember. Oh, I'm not even looking at. Thank you, my moderator. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So we had, this is interesting, and it was going so well for a while until we had this crazy, I'm not even going to repeat the word.
No.
So thank you for taking that out for me. But you see, they tried to make their presence known in different ways, whether they're in human form or they're not. But it's just because all darkness is attracted to the light.
There's been a lot of that recently. We had that happen to us last week in a live. It's like we had 3 of them saying like obnoxious things, and it's just like, seriously.
I never had that before. You know, I was on like 5 years ago. I never got any. Never, not once. I have goosebumps. I never had any of that kind of, and I haven't had it only just recently. In the last, like, maybe 3 ago, it started. And I mean, it happens. There's trolls, and they go out and they do things, and that's why I appreciate, you know, Stacy or anybody else when Steve's on, that you moderate, and it's good to have a moderator, you know, in your life for sure. So I'm appreciative of that. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to come from a different perspective of that. The dark is always drawn to the light because the light exists in the dark, but the dark doesn't know it until you turn it on. So,
right.
If that makes sense. And so, you know, they come for some reason, but if they're not going to be going with the flow, then they got to go.
True. Yeah, recently my son, this was about, I want to say 5 days ago. Mm-hmm. My son, maybe a little bit longer, but my youngest son, he's in the living room, he's playing on his game. Mm-hmm. He came into the room, and I think I was on a live at the time. He said, "Did you call me, Mom?" I said, "No, I didn't." He said, "Well, someone called me." So I told him, I said, the next time you hear your name, say, hi, Daddy. Because I've been sitting in there's a particular chair that I would sit in. And he would always come to my left ear and he would just whisper my name. And it's distinctly his voice, very clearly his voice. So I told Nicholas, my youngest son, I said, the next time you hear your name being called, just say, hi, Daddy, and just continue playing with your games.
Okay, so obviously his daddy's passed over.
Yes, yes. This coming July will be 4 years. And he's been here a lot. He'll come in the form of a cardinal and just sit outside. I think I might have mentioned this before. Just sit by the window and he'll just watch Nicholas. This red bird just sits there literally watching my son play video games.
Well, he's not a bird, but not that he watches your son. So
yes, it just sits there and watches my son.
Uh-huh.
And then the funny part was, I said, Nicholas, get up and go to your room. And he got up, he went to his room, and the bird flew around to his bedroom window, followed him. So I said, at that point, I said to my son, that's your dad. Because he's the only one who know where your bedroom window was. So I said, you know, when he heard his name being called, I said, the next time you hear your name, just say, hi, Daddy.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, I don't know if this is related to you, but I keep hearing the name Peter. So I don't know if somebody's going to come in or there's someone around here named Peter. So I just keep saying it over and over again. But, and I can feel my ear. Oh, look what card I just picked. Mystical awareness. Appropriate. Oh wow, I keep my ears. I'm not a medium, but when people start saying things, that's very beautiful. And of course, for sure, he would be around, you know, around their children. They leave before. Oh, my ear's kind of hurting. Okay. Anybody hear me? Yes. I got that card the last time too. It's true, Stacey. Well, look what we're doing, you know, mystical awareness. And, you know, when I come on here, I just, you know, I ask the angels, say, whoever's to be present here. And, you know, that hopefully it'll be an interesting and if not fun or enlightening live stream.
I had a similar experience one time with you saying about the bird. This has got to be like probably, I don't know, about 15, 17 years, a long time ago, let's put it that way. And I was reading the scripture about what he talked about, if I could not take care of the sparrow, would I not take care of you? And I was reading it, had my car windows down. And no sooner did I read that, a bird flew in, sat on the dashboard for like 10 seconds, stared at me, and then flew off. So it's just kind of ironic. Like, you never had nothing fly into your car and say, I am going to sit here for a minute. So, you know, just the signs, just little signs that, you know, God or whoever gives us, hey, you know, I am here and I do, you know, hear you, and, you know, my presence is known, angels are known.
Absolutely. You know what? The signs are always around us in whatever way and how you interpret it. You know, you just have to be open. You just have to be open, really. And yeah, I don't know. Somebody was bothering my ear. Does somebody have like an ear issue or something? Because my ears, I keep going to my ear.
I'm just curious about the name that you heard. Did you hear Peter, or did you hear another name or something close to it?
I don't know. I need to, my ears, something. No, I heard Peter for sure about 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
Now, see, the problem is that I only speak English and my Spanish is very limited, but I probably would like recognize something. But if the name is like somewhere else that's different that I'm not I may not hear it correctly, right? So, and then, I don't know, I don't hear names all the time, but when I do hear them, I just say it because, you know, I don't know, who's Peter? I don't know. Or Pet, or no, it's definitely pretty close to Peter, unless.
Yeah, no, the reason I asked that was because my youngest son's dad's name is Brenton. That's why I said, are you hearing
Is
Peter?
what?
Brenton. So that's why I was curious.
Is that with a B or a P?
With a B. B-R. So that's why I was kind of curious.
I never heard that name. Okay. The one that's passed?
Yes. Brenton.
Brenton.
Yes. That's why I was kind of curious when you said Peter, that you know, I say, are you sure you're hearing Peter or something else? So I'm just curious. There's no Peter around me.
Peter's up there.
And something to do with the ear, this ear. Left ear. She's saying it might be me. Hi, MK Marco, how are you? It might be you? What do you mean? It might be you, Stacy. Why are you making that? With the ear? Actually, Brenton?
Yes.
No. No. He said, no, it's not him. But you know, there's something when you say his name, I saw a car. Like when you said his name, all I saw was a car. What is Stacy saying? Yeah, the right ear. Oh, I'm looking at myself and I'm going to left. The right ear. Yeah, this one. I'm pointing to my right ear. I keep touching my ear. It feels like it's blocked all of a sudden. All right, that's the thing about when you're an empath, you start picking up all kinds of things. So, and you have several people around, you know, you kind of have to see where it's coming from. Now on YouTube, you never really know who's out there. And who's also watching in the background. MK Marco. How you doing? Brenton. Now I'm starting to feel him. But why is there a car? What does a car have to do with it?
Well, we both had identical cars when he was alive. Identical in color, identical in model and make, everything. So maybe that's why the car thing popped up.
Yeah, it was just like a car.
Sure.
You know, yeah. But he's very quiet. Like he almost like he
that's him.
Like he stands. He's almost like I don't feel nobody, and then all of a sudden I started to feel, but he's like, there's people who are reserved and shy, or they're like they don't want to really make their presence known in some ways, and in other ways they make their presence. I think that's why he presents himself more as a bird. Also, maybe also not to, you know, I don't know how open your son is to this, but I feel like he probably is. But you know, because you just never know. Yeah, he's very quiet. He's very quiet. Like he has a very what's the word? Shy. I don't think he's shy in all ways, but he's shy. Like it's just like he's just staying there. he's just there. Where there's other ones that are more like, you know, feeling their like I said when I came on, there was about 12 presences here, and I don't know. Some of them were angels, and some of them are not. Some of them, you know, other spirits or souls that have come for whatever reason. Sometimes some just come to be present. Yeah. You know, and not necessarily to say anything. And I'm not a medium in that way. That's not what I do. But because I have abilities, in that moment. If something's going to come, then, you know, and I'll just present it, and that's it. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to be.
And that's how my son is as well. He's very, very quiet.
They're
both alike.
They're very similar. They have that, but you know, I think that I think the quietness is very sensitive. They're sensitives. Your real last name is Burton? Yes. I know someone named Burton, last name Burton too. Well, it's a common name, but I'm saying know someone. Well, there's different people popping in, so I'm just going to apologize again if I don't always come to the chat, because once we start talking, then we kind of like forget about there. So I'm so sorry about that. I wanted to ask you something, Andrew. So my sense that I get from you is that are you more religious than spiritual, or you practice religion, or you just, you know?
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
I would say more on the religious side, but, you know, beings that, you know, the upbringing that I had, you know, with my dad being, you know, very into the church and very into, you know, angels, and, you know, we do consider ourselves Christians. So, I mean, you know, so I guess you'd say, you know, I'm a believer in the sense that, you know, there is a higher power, you know, God, Jesus, however you want to say it, you know, but I do believe, like we had said, that there are just so many things that we can't explain with, you know, angels and whatnot. So I will say 100% that I would be more of a religious aspect, but believe that there are beings that are there to protect us, or guardian angels, or whoever you want to say it. Then yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm open to life. I don't practice a religion in the sense. I was raised Catholic, you know, and I did that, but I was very curious myself, and I actually had a lot of experiences from childhood with the unseen world around me, whether they were spirits of people who passed over or other beings, such as fairies and all that, because they're all real. They exist, and so I grew up that way, more in my own little world about it, because my parents were, or my sister, my mother, and grandparents were very afraid when I used to talk like that. And that happens a lot with children, and that's what happens, is that, you know, you're in some way or another, you shut down somewhere between 5 and 7, or a little bit more like that. And so, you know, your third eye closes down, and you don't have the awareness. And so, because you are, you know, then you're taught different things, whatever that may be. And I have no judgment or nothing about any of that. This is just my path. I decided to expand my path and sort of not stick to religion anymore. But everybody, where they're at and what they believe and what they do is perfect for them. I just say, be open, you know, to explore life and all that exists within it. And that is massive. That's infinite. So, you know, it's going to be a constant journey of experiencing and learning and growing and evolving. So whatever it may be, I'm just grateful that you're here, and I trust that, you know, you're here for whatever reason it is, you know, just to share. And that's really, I'm not here to like preach or teach or anything like that. I'm really just here to share. And if people, you know, want to explore or ask questions, or just have someone to talk to them because they have experiences that they maybe don't feel comfortable with sharing with other people, you know?
Because I was like that. I grew up in a very strong, I have a very strong Christian background. And there were things that I was curious about as a young child, and I was always considered like the weird one. Because there were some experiences that I had that I couldn't tell anyone because they would look at me and say I was nuts. So as an adult now, I've joined different groups where there are people like me, and a lot of them are Christians who have, grown up in a very strong Christian background, but again, have had unusual experiences, didn't really have the right place to go and talk about them without being judged as being non-Christian or being a backslider or being, whatever term you want to throw in there. And then what happened with me recently was I started looking at the Bible in a whole other way. I said, there are experiences in the Bible that would sort of explain, well, how do you put this? I've been playing around. I shouldn't say playing around, but I work with crystals. And one day I started looking at a certain passage or different passages in the Bible that discuss crystals. And initially, when I started playing around with crystals, people would look at me and say, that is not the proper thing for a Christian person to do. And then I thought about this. Well, but God himself made this earth. He made crystals. Crystals are part of the earth. And I know that there are passages in the Bible that talk about how God himself dictated to a particular soldier on how to decorate his armor before he went into battle with certain crystals that would protect him. So why is it in the Bible if it's considered, and God himself is telling these people how to use them? Why is it suddenly anti-Christian for me to do it? Well, and there's another passage as well, also involving angels, where Jacob laid his head. It's when Jacob's ladder, where he puts his head on a stone, and then he has this vision. He has a dream where he's battling with an angel on the ladder. Immediately, I looked at that passage as something completely different, because all these years I've read, he put his head on a stone and he fell asleep and he had a dream. That, to me, that's not what happened. I think he put his head on some giant geode that ended up giving him this vision of him on having this fight or whatever it was, wrestling with this angel. I fully believe it was a crystal that he put his head on. And I'm just like, I'm looking at the Bible in a whole other way. And I fully believe that my third eye just popped open one day and all of a sudden I'm seeing things in a whole different light. And I've been beginning to think, why other people aren't seeing these things like this? But I think it's happening to me at the right time. And this is the first time in my life where I no longer feel weird. And to add another thing to this, my daughter called me recently because my daughter is very clairvoyant. And from the time she was a little girl, and she called me, and for a number of years, she kind of put it in the back of her head. But she called me recently because she, like I said, this is her room, and she had some experiences in this room that kind of scared her. But I think she's kind of opened herself up to it a little bit more. And she called me recently. She said, Mom, I understand now where I get my weirdness from. I said, really? What do you mean weirdness? You know what I mean, Mom. But it was kind of a jovial way that she said it. It was almost like, okay, I accept that I'm this way now, but I know I got it from you. And it was just like, I told her, I said, that is the most beautiful thing you could have said to me. And it was just like, because I'm glad she feels comfortable enough to come and talk to me now, because at her age, I didn't have that person to go and say, okay, let's talk about this stuff. Because the only thing that people would say to me is that you're weird, you're strange, or it's anti-Christian, or that sort of thing. And I needed that at the time. So I think I locked myself off from it. And then now I'm really beginning to open up a lot more. My daughter, I'm glad, is at the point where she's, you know, kind of open to it and not afraid of it, but also knowing that she can come and talk to me and find other people now that she can also go and talk to. So,
how old is she?
She's 21.
Oh, well, I felt that she was older. Wow.
I think people feel that she's older. I've had people tell me that they feel that she's much older than she really is. And she's always said that to me. She said, Mom, I think you had me in the wrong decade. I said, well, you know, I don't think that's possible. But yes, because when she goes shopping, she likes to go to Goodwill and she looks for things from the 80s or the 70s or the 60s. She loves to wear these the fashion from that time period. And she said, Mom, I think I was born in the wrong decade. Because she just feels like there were things from those particular decades that appeal to her more than when she was actually born. And I don't know how to explain that part to her. I jokingly looked at her and said, maybe it was just a past life that you're experiencing now.
Well, actually, that's what I was getting in a sense when you were saying that, because what could possibly have happened is that she came like very quickly, you know, or you know, well, okay, when was she born? 20 years ago would have been what? In the I don't even. That's still no 90s.
96, yeah.
Yeah, 96. So you know that's. It could be in the sense because we don't always come back right away. Sometimes there's time in between before a soul may come back, reincarnate. So that could have been her last one. So it's still the most freshest one, if you want to say, in her cells. So she has that sense of that connection, you know, still to that time period. That's kind of what I was picking up, and it was definitely past life in that sense. So that's the one I think that's still, so she's born exactly when she chose to come in, but that's probably more than likely that she still has that resonance and that, you know, is the most current lifetime. When is your wife going to join us, Andrew? I'm sorry, I forgot. What's your beautiful wife's name?
She's actually tending to the kids, and I was just going to say I actually have to go here because I got to get up early for work, but she was, guess they're being rambunctious downstairs, but
working tomorrow? It's Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh,
I work early, and sometimes on Sundays, not often, but it's the holiday weekend, so they said, I can come on Sunday, so whatever.
Oh, wow, you don't even get it. Because I was going to ask you about your children if they have experiences, but I understand, no problem. I appreciate you.
Not that I've seen, no, but.
Or that they want to share, because a lot of times a lot of children just don't share.
Right. So, well, you know what, guys, it was wonderful. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
So I appreciate that. Maybe you can tell us the next one next time. They'll do it different.
Yep. Sounds great. Thank you very much, guys.
Good night, Andrew.
Good night.
Good night. Who's this MK Marco? But he doesn't, and then he retracted what he wrote. But how come he doesn't have a channel? But I know that name. Isn't he following me also?
I thought he did.
Because there's no channel showing. Because I want to go there. I'm like, what did he write? He wrote something about because what his last name was, and then and I know I've seen him before, but he has no channel though. I've seen him in Michelle's live streams.
Yes, he has been.
Well, I wonder what he wrote something 2 times, but he took it away. Did you see what he wrote, Stacy? I mean, you didn't do that. He took it back. So I don't know if he was wanted to ask a question or, you know, something that I missed. I really wish that I could see this at the same maybe that's something they need to work on. That when you're in a Google Hangout, you can also see the chat. That this, it would be good if, what I did see though, is that if you just press the camera, the new icon that you can just press now, the chat is right beside it. But in a Google Hangout, no, maybe because it's two different programs.
Well, there is a chat box in the Google Hangout.
Yeah, but that's not going to be your viewers. That's only going to be us.
Okay.
So we have to go back and forth to two different places. But if you do the new one that's within Google with the camera, the chat, I tried it today and I said, oh, okay, I'll do this one. I've never done this one. And the chat shows up right beside it. But then I was like, oh, no, wait a minute. Then I won't be able to have anybody come into the Google. So that's not going to work. So that's why I went back to that. But then just, because once you start talking, you forget to go back to the chat. And I feel bad because some people are talking away and then don't know what they're saying. It was just the last name statement, and the second comment was the bird comment. Yeah, but why did he? Oh, yeah. So why did he take that away? There was nothing wrong with that. I read it. I don't know why he took it away. Because yeah, I don't know if he said he had experience or something like that. So okay, there's this Peter person again. No, I only know one Peter. That's my uncle, but I haven't seen him for years or anything. That's my mother's brother. Well, unless something's happened there, I don't know. I guess if it is, I'll find out soon.
I have a cousin Peter, but he's alive and well.
Well, so is my uncle. That's why I'm saying. I don't know why I keep, And so when I start whistling, it's for me. I do this in healing work because I do sound healing also with my voice. But when I start whistling, a lot of times, if it's not like in a healing session, it's to bring forth information. Like for me, it's like a frequency refiner, and I can receive information. So, and I'm feeling a lot of density around this, like there's something going on. And so I don't know why it's happening at this moment. That's the thing. I don't know why it's happening right now. If I don't have any Peter here, it might just be because, as we said, mystical. The only Peter I know was someone I knew for a brief period a long time ago. And you knew him for a brief period? Stacy, how come you don't come on and join us? I appreciate she's always here and being my moderator. Steve is working, so he's working the whole weekend, but he'll be here on Tuesday. So he's not here. He'll watch this in the middle of the night. What? You know what I just heard about you? That you are an oracle. You've been an oracle.
Who are you talking to? Me or Stacy?
Gina, I'm talking to you. No, I'm not talking to you, Gina.
Christina, I was just told that on, what's today, Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Thursday? And you know who told me this? A cab driver.
In the car? No. I wonder if his name was Peter.
No. And I'm sitting there, and he said to me, because my son is really quiet, because he was with me, and he said, oh my gosh, my computer is dying, and I don't have a thing in here. He said, your son has several abilities. And he didn't say it out loud. He just kind of whispered it in the rearview mirror for me to see.
Oh, really?
Because he didn't want my son to hear what he said, but he told me, he said, your son is very strong, and you need to get him to someone who can help him with whatever gifts. Because he said to me, he said, I know what you are, but you are still trying to figure things out. So you need to get him to someone who is going to help him along on his journey.
Mm-hmm.
So this was really ironic that you brought this up, because that's the word that this cab driver used. I'm just like,
oh, so he told you were an oracle.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. I just, well, I know you have abilities, and I know that, well, I just know, anyways. So, I don't know why, all of a sudden I just heard that. And I think this is part of the reason you have a lot of mystical experiences, because on one other level, you're exploring, you're open, you're even searching, you're awakening, and all of those things. But what I felt that your abilities lie much more as an oracle. So, there's seers, there's oracles, there's intuitives, and there's that. And so that's where, and I think your lifetimes that you've had for maybe many, actually, I see many lifetimes, and my hand's just doing many lifetimes as an oracle in some way or another, and in different civilizations, in different time periods. So that feels like, and there's very much an ancient Asian time period that I'm getting. That was you were a great oracle. And so someone's talking to me right now. Okay, so I'm just going to go on a roll right now. So I can feel it. It's like, so they say that time period is the time period for you to remember more about it, because those abilities still lie within you. They're very powerful, but they're somewhat dormant. Some of them are starting to waken up. And that if you start doing a lot more work with your spine in getting that alignment to come take you back into alignment, you'll see that some things will start to trigger and bring you online. Those abilities will start to come more online. The ancient, oh my goodness, the ancient culture, oh, now I'm feeling in my ears. You have an issue with your ear also. Stacy says she has an issue. You have something going on. Now that might be more about, because I'm feeling it going down here as opposed to going here into the sinus connected. So when it comes more down here, it's telling me the GI tract. So it's feeling like it's going more into the GI tract. And so that kind of blocks you from hearing and accessing information. Your abilities to see already are there. You just need to trust, allow, and that will come more online. And the more you detox and clear, for all of us, this applies to all of us, your body will start to, the abilities have the ability to work, when we do that, and the detoxing. There's also another oracle lifetime in Greece that I see you standing between these two pillars. And oh my God, I don't know where this is coming from today. So, and
I have to get my charger, so I'm still listening.
Oh, you take me with you. And I think the word, I don't know, I love to go to Greece. My friend is in Greece right now. But I think it's called Hyperion or I don't know, something like that. I have to look it up. Because outside of Athens and whatever, I don't really know places there. I really feel that if you work, I can talk to you about this later, not right now, but I really feel if you work with these oils that I work with, I'm going to send you the link to the website so you can read more about them. Okay. And then we could talk later, because I'm feeling that I'm going to be doing something even more so here with people. I hope so, because these are very powerful and mystical and magical and alchemical oils. Stacy knows about them. But I feel that the more you work with this, not just on the healing level, because that's what they also are, they're healing oils, but they're activation oils.
Yeah, I use a lot. I use
different your abilities online. These are very different. Mm-hmm. The best thing that I would suggest, if you can, is to just get a sample set, to start with the sample set. Mm-hmm. And because they have the first original 26 ones that are in there. I will send you the link. It's called fragrancealchemy.com. And you can read to start, because I think you have, and you know, I'm going to share something with you, and I know she's not on here watching, but I will share. I work with these all the time, and I do the healings with them, karma clearing the meridians. We use these. But one of the most, I had many powerful experiences just recently, actually with an angel, using these oils with Steve. Steve is my partner, but I don't call him Steve. His spiritual name is Mantu. And so he will be here, but I'm initiating him now into what is called the runes mastery. And these are very different runes. So we had an experience when we were working with those where a massive angel, I mean, it changed the whole frequency and the temperature in the room. And then we learned later, Almeen said that now the angels were stepping forth with the new blends that she was making. So, but what I was feeling was that the oils for you will start to trigger your abilities even more so. And there's one whole set that are called the high magic oils. She just did an upgraded blend of those. I mean, I cannot even tell you how powerful these are. I mean, I was going to share with you that there was an experience that I went to see some friends when I was traveled. But now this is like 6 months ago in Baja, where I used to live in Mexico, and with a friend of mine, and her cousin came to visit the same day as I arrived there. I was already planned for me to go there, you know, and she invited me, my friend, and she bought my ticket, and we stayed there, you know, for my birthday, and then her cousin, I don't know, a few days later or whatever it was, said, "Oh, I want to come visit. Oh, I'm coming on this day." So she was coming the same day as I was coming. So I meet her, you know, she picks her up at the airport first, then she picks up me, and we get in the elevator, we look at each other, and we're like, oh, we're kind of dressed the same, you know, and she's like, oh, isn't that cool? And we kind of did that for the next 3 days without planning. But the thing is, the next morning, I brought out the oils, and I said, here, let's try out these oils. I put a bunch of them on her, but the second or third one that I put on her, which was the Secret of Nefertiti oil. And I put that on her, and we were sitting in the living room, and she has all these recliner couch. Then all of a sudden, she starts to lean, maybe she was already reclining in the chair. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, she starts going, oh, and she's talking, and she's like, oh my God, I can see that. Anyways, short story. She was going into a past life right away. No, I never had anybody else had this before. Everybody has their own things, or they just love them, and you know, whatever. She went into a past life, and she could see it. And she was back in Egypt. She saw who she was. She was the goddess of that. And she told us the name, and then we were like Googling it, and we found, you know, that goddess. And part of it was a very difficult one because of what she saw and what she experienced and what she was part of in a certain way. But it was very cathartic because it helped her to release that. It just went on for quite a while though, you know. We had to stay with her and sort of comfort her, but allow that experience to take place. And after that, her abilities in a sense started to click in a bit more. I ended up initiating them all to the healing modality that I do, Balvas Bata, but she was like, now I know why I'm here. Like, this is why now I know why I had to come visit my cousin at the same time as you, even though, you know, we had not met before, at least yet, physically. But that was such a profound experience that she had. And so then she started to have more memories. She started to have, you know, things and awakenings, and I haven't talked to her for a while, but you know, I'd love to know where she's at right now. But I feel that what's that?
I want to go grab something real quickly. I'll be right back.
Okay. I think just Stacy is still there. You know, I was going to say that, Stacy. I was thinking that he is either was an angel who just came to give her, or he's, you know, it could be.
All right, I'm back.
Another being, you know, that stepped in to give her that message. It's just Stacy was saying, and I was thinking the same thing, like the cab driver, that was someone who actually either probably just walked in at that moment to give you that message. He may not even be a physical being.
I want to show you something, because you brought up like the Asian aspect of possible past lives with me, and Greece. But years ago, someone gave this to me, and I'm showing it to you now because of the story that you just told. See if I can get it into the camera. You see that?
Nefertiti.
And this is a blend of a perfume that would the recipe came directly from her tomb. And I met this person, and he gave me this bottle of perfume. He said, I need to give this to you. I don't know why. He said, I need to give this to you.
I was going to say, it's been written on there.
It's written in, what is it, Arabic?
Arabic, uh-huh.
Yeah, written on there. But that's clearly Queen Nefertiti's head. And I remember when I was about 15 or 16, there was something that we were doing at church. We had to dress up. And the only thing I've ever wanted to dress up as was Queen Nefertiti. So I had, you know, the whole outfit, and I went to this event as Queen Nefertiti. Years later, as an adult, for Halloween, I would dress up as Queen Nefertiti, because I always had this mild obsession with, you know, ancient Egypt. And recently we were studying ancient Egypt in our homeschool, and that was like my favorite thing. And it's just, there's just something about ancient Egypt that I'm drawn to. And the same thing with Japan. When you said Asia, Japan and China are the two that always stood out, because it's been on my bucket list for years that I have to go to Japan. It's not one of those I would like to go to Japan just so I can cross it off of my list. It's like in my spirit, I have to go to Japan, right? And the same thing with China.
What is that? Do you hear that? Is that yours?
I hear that.
Is that your computer?
No, it's not on.
Did you not hear that? Like, I have goosebumps.
I hear like
I don't have anything open except for the chat. I heard like two beat. Did you? Yeah, it wasn't echo though. There was voices. I heard the best voices, and one of them sounded masculine.
Yeah, I'm hearing myself echoing. Not anymore now.
You know, that was something completely different. That's when you started talking about that. It started to like, because sometimes that's what happens. This is a frequency that's there. And, you know, sometimes when you do this type of work and what I do, it kind of affects electronics. But then sometimes it's also used as a medium to try to, you know, get messages or something to come through. And so when that was happening, I could feel that through my body. So that was an incoming something. And you were talking, so I can feel it through my body now, like getting the truth goosebumps. When you were talking about, you know, Asia and Japan, that you have to go to Japan. And and I was visualizing you also, you know, in these times. And so all of a sudden there was this incoming, like they were trying to get this message through.
I definitely heard it.
We'll see how it sounds later. Actually, I'll watch it back and look at the time frame about when it happened. Okay. So that will be interesting.
I would like to, yeah, because I've always told my kids, you know, I said, whenever I pass on, I'm going to have an envelope for you. There's going to be like 2 plane tickets or a plane ticket for each of you. You're going to travel to China. You're going to have me cremated, and you're going to go to the Great Wall of China, and you're going to sprinkle my ashes over the Great Wall. And they look at me and they think I'm crazy. And I said, no, you don't understand. That's where I want you to sprinkle my ashes. Because I want to run with the terracotta warriors. I want to run with all of those spirits that help to build this place. And they look at me, Mom, you are not serious. I said, I am, really. And then there'll be enough money in there after you've done that. Go into China, whatever city you want to go to, and just have some fun. But they think I'm kidding. And when you mentioned Asia, ancient Asia, I think that's why. That's
yeah, I didn't hear that. I heard that afterwards. I don't know. Someone else was actually giving me. That's why I was whistling. I told you I received information so that was information that was for you. First of all, about the first 2 places, and then all of a sudden it was just almost. It was like oh yes, and then Asia. I didn't hear where in Asia. Though I would have to say that there's now you said you want to go to Japan. I actually see more of China, and now you just said you want to be sprinkled there, so that kind of makes sense. I'm feeling something on my head now. Who just came? Somebody came. Somebody came here. Who's here? Besides Stacy. I just felt something around my head. All right. I don't know what that was. I just felt that right here. Yeah, and I keep hearing that your abilities are, many of us have dormant abilities, and they come online when it's time for them to come online. But there are also things that we can do or tools to use to trigger that, to assist that, to move that along, I do. That's wonderful. That oil looks amazing. I would have to say that, and I would certainly love to smell that. Though I would have to say that these oils, that I feel like that one needs refinement. Like,
yeah, I don't.
I
don't think this is meant as I don't think this was given to me as anything to kind of enhance my abilities, but this was years ago. I think this was more as a perfume. I'm trying to open it without spilling, but it is, oh my gosh, it's incredible. Here I am holding it up to you so you can smell.
Oh, well, I probably could.
Yeah, it's really, oh my gosh. Let me see if can I get it up there? It smells. I don't know how to describe this, but it's a divine.
A darker, and I don't mean not darker as in scary, a darker intensity to it is what I'm saying. Like it feels like it has an intense intensity to it. The thing about Almin's oils, she does alchemy with each one of them. So they are from Egypt. They're actually all flower essences from Egypt. So there's a family. I think she's going to start now producing them all herself, but she has them all made in Egypt, and different flowers. And then she does the alchemy, and then for what they're for, and I can't even explain all that because that's something she does as who she is and what she does. I just know what I experience with them. And they're much more refined, the frequency. So I feel, not because I'm just trying to sell them to you, because I do sell them also, but they will help you in a lot of different things. That's why I'm saying go look at the website, explore and see what's there, and probably if you can, or if you're interested or you want to start with the sample sets. The sample sets, they come in the 2 milliliter, so they're all like this, and So yeah, so there's 26 of the first original. There's other ones, specialties, and then every once in a while she has new ones, but you can see what's on there. Like Secret of Nefertiti is this is Desert Moon, but this is, and there's masculine and feminine, but you know, we are both things. Mm-hmm. But I have to tell you, the new high magic ones, that's a whole different alchemy. I just got them. Oh my God. I mean, I don't know, Stacy, do you have any of the oils yet? Because she's an Almin student, but do you have the oils yet? I don't know if she has any of them. But, and I've had them from the beginning, from when this started, which was, I don't remember now, 5 years, about, I don't know, time flies, but about 5 years ago. I mean, there, if you could see my desk, I would show you. It's probably messy, but I don't know if you can see. You see, I have.
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay, I have a lot of them. I don't have, you know, and then I have a whole bunch over here. This is anyways. And today I was just thinking, you know, I think I might start to explain them and share them more out here. And maybe even I was thinking about doing something else like giveaways and things like that. Because
yeah, you should do a video about them. Or
yeah,
about a couple.
Yeah, I was thinking about something else that I'm going to do as well. And I think maybe just when whatever triggered something with you, that kind of just sort of reinforced that, because I really feel that a lot of people, see, I've never been able to, except for 2 perfumes that I liked. I've never been able to, I think I said this before, I don't know, been able to wear perfumes, walk through a perfume store or the department store. I would always get like dizzy and nauseous, and it was just too strong. So I've only ever liked 2 in my whole life, and I think they were both French. I don't know, Lutesh and Angel. Actually, Angel was my favorite perfume, which was by a French designer, I believe. And that was it. And so I really didn't wear anything. And then Almin brought these forth about 5, I guess it's 5 years now or something. I was like a little kid. I was so excited. Number one, they have no chemicals, you know, in them, and they're flower essences. And then of course they're like made by her and their alchemy. But then I started to smell them, and I was like, what is, you know, like, it's experiential, you know, and anybody that knows with these oils will tell you this, but this is becoming even more. You don't see me? Where did I go? I disappeared? She says she doesn't see me. Do you see me?
I see you still.
I'm here. I don't know, maybe refresh. I don't know where I went. Where did I go? Maybe I went to another dimension or something. But so they're really powerful, and I think that they will not only use them as a healing oil and to help clear the meridians, but you know, just to activate. And if anybody, I think that you would really have an amazing experience with them.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll send you that, and whatever you decide is fine. But I thought, and it was funny because when I started to say that, I really felt, you know, that will bring online those abilities as an oracle. And you're more than that. That's not just all that you are, but you're more than that. I can feel stuff that needs, whenever my voice gets like this, it's density, because I do sound healing. So I do toning. And so whenever things get like this, it means that there's density that I need to clear. I'll do it soon. Not here. I haven't done a video yet on that. Angel Bell. Somebody else has arrived. You're so much more than that. You know, you're a goddess beyond an infinite being, but those abilities are pretty powerful. I think that when you recognize that, like really, really recognize that and open to that, you will see how that you will just dissolve all this, you know, any illness in your body. And what I wanted to say to you, see, I'm not going back around, was when you were talking about, when you're saying that, when you pass and you want your children to take your ashes to China, that's lovely and wonderful. And, and if that's what you so choose to do, but you don't have to choose that, because we actually are in the times of choosing immortality, that you can stay here as long as you want to, right? Don't focus on death, focus on living. And I think that, I was going to say to you when you were telling me the story was, take your children to China and go there and enjoy the Great Wall instead of being, spreading your ashes over there.
We're going to do that as well, because I've already told them. I said I have no plans on checking out until I'm at least 150.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yay, okay, that's good.
Oh, 150 is good. I mean,
well, I've known since it's funny. When I was 7, that's when I remember this happening. I had and I don't think I was sleeping, because I don't feel, or otherwise it was lucid dreaming. And I had this magnificent dream where, it was like, I was a child, but I saw myself first in my backyard, and we did have a big backyard. And I'm observing the sky, it's nighttime, and I'm like, I'm just going to go over the fence because I know I'm going to see something amazing, right? And so I go there and I see all of these ships, but they were kind of very cool looking ships. And they came one by one, and they all lit up. Probably there was like 7 of them. And then, of course, I could see the stars to infinity. I don't know what it is. It felt like a gathering, but at the same time, the message that I always remember from this was that I'm not going to die. That's what I remember. And the other thing I think I also got, I can see this, it's still in my mind, not the whole thing, but I can still see it. And I said to myself also that we're all one. So I remember I'm not going to die, and we're all one. Now, I remember that, but did I really understand it at 7? Not too much. It wasn't until I got older, and then I started to, I chose the spiritual path, to encompass much more than just religion, to go further up the mountain than only so far up the mountain. And it wasn't until, of course, I met Almeen, which is almost 20 years ago now, and when she started talking about immortality. All of a sudden, I remember when she said that in the class, and I said, I remembered my dream when I was 7. I said, oh, that's what the message was about, that I'm not going to die. It was about immortality, because number one, we already are immortal, because we are infinite beings, whether we're in this body or we transform to something, whatever. There's that aspect of it. And then there's the other part where I realized, no, but also physicality, I'm not going to. So eventually, so many years later, I brought myself to a teacher who that is what she teaches, and beyond that.
Yes.
And of course, we're all one. I didn't get that. What I saw in my dream was all these different ships that were all from different planets. So they all contained different beings within them. I didn't see them, but I saw, all of that. They lined the sky like they had come to show me themselves. Like we're coming to see you, Christina. And they showed me. I have goosebumps. And it was like, just to know that, yes, I'm here, but we're all connected. We're all connected. Right. So, of course, I didn't, and these are things I didn't tell my parents and stuff like that. So I had a lot of mystical experiences as a child, but I had to keep it to myself. And a lot of children do that. They do, unless their parents are already open, are spiritual, and they talk about things, or they say, hey, share whatever, then that's different. But I came from a time, my parents were open to a lot of different things. My mom gave me my first book where it was how to be a psychic or something like that. And, you know, my dad was always open to UFOs. So they were there. But for some reason, the hidden realms that, you know, were really all around us that would speak to me in different ways, they didn't want to hear about that. Mm-hmm. So it was very interesting. So there's a part of that was open and another part that I had to keep, you know. And so a lot of children in the past, in the olden days, experienced that, and still even some people today, because there's still people that are fearful of that. But I say, you know, just allow people to experience whatever it is, because everybody is, you know, a universe unto themselves. So
that's true.
Can you imagine the experiences that each one of us universe, you know, experiences? It's massive. You just can't even. Yeah, I don't know. So, anyways, getting back to you, I think that an Asian trip would be very cool for you. Though, the one place that I see that keeps in my mind, in my inner mind, because I don't see external, I see internally, is these two pillars, and you between these two. Hyperion. Let me look up this word. I mean, I know the word, but where is it? Who's this silent person there watching us? Hyperion. I mean, there's a show that, oh my God, there's a show that I've been watching the beginning, and I just saw the last episode and found out that they ended the series. But I have to tell you, now Stacy would get this. Some of the episodes that I just watched is like what we know with Almeen, Stacy, I'll say this to you, is happening cosmically. And I'm like, anyways, the place that they lived was Hyperion.
Well, listen to what I just found.
Is that a real place?
Hyperion was the Titan god of heavenly light.
The high one, oh my God, was the one of the 12 Titans. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh. So it was considered masculine then? Hyperion was one of the 12 Titan children of Gaia?
Titan children of Gaia.
Oh. But that's okay. So is that considered on the goddess level, or do they relate that to Greek? It is related to Greek mythology.
It is Greek, yes.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. I'm not delusional here. All right. Hekatonte. My sister-in-law is Greek. I don't know. There's a poem. Did you say something about poetry? Was it you or somebody else said something about poetry?
I think it was someone else.
Oh my gosh, I don't know who it was. It feels like it happened today. Anyways, all right, so there's an abandoned epic poem called Hyperion. What is that saying? Why do I have to look at that for some reason? Pantheon of gods who ruled over Olympians. Oh, is that where the pillars are? God, I so want to go to Greece. Always wanted to go there. Okay, here's the.
Are you reading the poem by John
Which Saturn is Fallen? That one or another one?
No, this one is called Hyperion by John P. And I'm still echoing. Wow.
Paradise Lost. Okay, no, I don't know. Oh, I guess there's a bunch of poems. This is from a book. Okay, no, I don't know where what does the poem say?
Right, I didn't click on it. Deep in the shady sadness of a veil, far sunken from the healthy breath of morn, far from the fiery noon and Eve's one star, sat gray-haired Saturn, quiet as a stone. Well, this is a long poem. Oh, wow. It goes on and on and on and on.
It sounds like a story or a book. Hyperion poem. I don't know. I just clicked on Hyperion is an abandoned epic poem.
Yeah, I think it's by John Keats. I think it's the same one that you're.
Oh, okay. That's more of a rendition, like a story of whatever was happening during that time. So you're standing between these two pillars. All right. You know what I like to do because I'm such a visual person.
Let's look at images.
That's what I mean. Exactly what I'm going to do. You're in sync there. I'm going to go to images and see what I'm seeing, if I find what I'm seeing. My mind's eye. My computer is a little bit lagging. Maybe because I've been on here so long. Oh no, these are all those. See, then you see they made all these characters and all this, you know, kind of stuff that they made. That's not what I want to see. No, I want to see pillars. Ah, this is all this cartoon or whatever you call this stuff. Where, see where they went with Hyperion? No, I'm gonna type pillars and see if anything comes up. Pillars. Oh my goodness. Oh, look! I typed Hyperion pillars, and do you know what it says on the? I don't know if it shows on yours. You know what it says on the left side? It says Oracle Hyperion.
Wow. Let me see if I can. You type in Hyperion.
It's not. I don't think it's like what I'm getting at. But they've used this. It's something else. I mean, it's related to something completely different. But it's funny that this is that company. Isn't that weird? That's that company Oracle. You know that company Oracle. And so one of their products or one of their things is called Hyperion. Anyways, that's just funny that showed. It's always like you get these little clues to just say, yeah, you're on a track of something, or little bits of confirmation. Here, I'm going to change the wording because we got like today's creations from that. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, what is this? Is this a goddess beside in the pillars? Our god. Hyperion of the East. Oh, I'm feeling in my head. So, so Hyperion was also, so Hyperion was a god. Yes. All right. There's those pillars. There's the pillars. This is what I'm kind of seeing. Like this. Ancient Greek temple. The Athenian treasure in Delphi was two ante framing two. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so can I give you this link? I don't know if I'll show you. You know what I'm kind of feeling your what do you call it? Pineal. Yeah, it would be amazing to go to Greece. I don't know. Do you see me, Stacy, or am I gone? Okay, I'm going to put this in. I think I can give this link to you in the where's the chat over here? Over here. I'll give you this link. Anyways, you probably, I mean, you've seen this before anyways. It's just, you know, it looks like a but I'm just trying to give you an idea of what I kind of see you in between. Standing.
Okay. All right, let's see. Just open it.
So, oh my gosh, I just got a smell, and I don't have anything here that smells like that, and it's masculine. You can smell it. It's just coming right across me. Oh, what is it? Very masculine.
Sandalwood?
But it has, I have sandalwood as one of them, but it has it has something else in it as well. Let me get my sandalwood and see. But it's no, it just came right now as I was saying this to you. It just came right there in front of me. And now it's gone. So it was, yeah, someone. So either someone passed or you don't see me, Stacy. I have no idea.
What about if you refresh the page?
I don't know what to say about that. I don't know where I went. I mean, it's not yet. The fun thing about Google is sometimes that it will go back and forth when someone's talking, and then all of a sudden it will stop doing that. So, okay, I'm clicked on me. Can you see me? Because I can see me. Can you see me, Gina?
I can see you.
Okay. That means I'm on screen. So I don't know why they can't see me. There's someone else sitting there watching. Hello, someone who's there. I can feel you. I might not know you, but I can feel you. Or I might know. Yeah, I would say Greece would be a really good activation place for you in your oracle abilities. Asia really feels more like the time that you did great meditation work or meditative what do you call it? Studies, more contemplative. Yeah, very different. Greece, it feels. Where else did I say to you, or did that all I said? I don't remember what I said to you.
You said Greece and Asia.
Okay. Did I say something else? See, I don't really know because in that moment I was kind of just receiving. Yeah, so it's very different. The oracle part of you is very Greek and it's not the only time. I'm just saying that one feels really strong. And then Asia is it's your contemplative studies. There's probably another word for that. Almost like Buddhist studying, doing that deep meditation. Yeah.
Yes, I feel that very strongly.
Yeah. So it's very different times. And, just equally as important or valuable, to do the meditation and the deep contemplation and the silencing of the mind, which comes, but at the same time, really honing in your abilities that have lied dormant. There's the ear again now. See, there's something you to work on with that. It feels like it's right in the center in your solar plexus. So
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where I've been sensing that I needed to work. Yeah, there's yeah. Let's just say yes.
Yeah, I don't have to, and I respect personal stuff too, but that's just, and it just kind of shoots it. And I think that once that's cleared, and I can say that for me too, because that has always been, I chose in this body to experience certain things as well. And I came in, or this body came in and as a baby was ill. So, and I didn't really experience it most of my life until later on. So I know it's more emotional, and that's also your emotional center. But it's also where you bring forth things too, into a manifestation. And it's where we go through to what we call inner space.
Yeah.
And so I know that if the ears are blocked or there's anything, this is a triangle like this, the GI, like this. So if there's issues, and my issues always has been the stomach. And a lot of times that is trauma. Oh, see, now I can see we're gonna go way deep into something completely different. Not complete. I mean, it's related, but it's something like it's not. Oh, it's past life. There's a lot of past life, and this is what these oils too. At the same time, will help to bring forth, because the karma clearing, goes into those emotions that you still have carried into this lifetime. So that's what I think some of your issues have been, where some of your are the origin of some of your illnesses, or that you created in your body. They're not just, they don't even feel like they're very little from this lifetime. It's been kept there in place by the experiences that you've had here too, that you've created. But it feels very, here we go, this whoever's talking again, this feels very much the past life that you've carried there, and it's due to trauma of who you were then and who you are now. You're still that. You're still that. Whatever you were then, you're still that now. So that's what it feels like. It feels very much ancient trauma.
Interesting. I remember, I don't know if I told you this, but when I was 17, I took a trip to Taiwan. It was with a group called Council for World Missions. And I met up with a bunch of other young people my age or a little bit older. We did a lot of volunteer work. But one of the things that we did during that time, we were actually running from one of the typhoons. And where we ended up, we spent a week in a Buddhist temple.
Oh.
It took us a while to get up there, but I remember being there, and all I could hear for the time we were introduced to the Buddhist monks that were there, and for the rest of the time we didn't see them, but we could hear all of their chanting. And I remember that was like one of the most peaceful times for me, was being in this Buddhist temple. And if you look at my altar right now, there is a small statue of Buddha on there. There's also a cross, but there's a miniature Buddha. And I've always told people that there are a lot of Buddhist principles that I think make me a better Christian, if that makes sense. And they've always looked at me and said, that does not make any sense. Seriously, you cannot use Buddha and Christianity in the same sentence. But there's always been this strong connection with a lot of the Buddhist principles for me. And I've never dared, I would not dare prior to this have even mentioned that, because people would look at me and say, oh my gosh, that is so antichrist and all of this stuff. But a lot of this stuff is now making sense to me, because I remember being in that temple, and it was cut out of the mountain. That's another thing. I've never been able to forget this place, because we were literally living in a mountain. Mm-hmm. It was cut out. We drove up, and it took us forever to get there. And we drove up, and I remember just feeling so at peace in this place. When I never saw the monks except on the first day, but I remember hearing them and just listening to the chanting, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I could be here forever, because it was just so peaceful. And that's an experience I've never been able to forget. And I don't want to forget, because it's just one of those, it's
mystical.
Yeah. And recently, a lot of if you go to my backyard right now, I don't know if I mentioned today when we were talking earlier, when I saw the orb of light and I said that there's a Japanese corner.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I go to do all of my meditation. And it's very close to the section where I had the experience with the angel the first time, with the pillar of light. And you mentioned that there might be some kind of like portal or something. I fully believe that is possible, because it's very close. And that is that is my meditation corner on the outside. I have another meditation corner on the inside, but when I'm outside and I go to that particular corner, that is where I am most at peace in my backyard. And I have my little, what do you call them? The Japanese lanterns are out there. The whole, certain plants that you'd find, and it's not just Japanese. They're whatever plants you'd find in maybe China, Japan, they're all planted in that particular area. And I can go out throughout my entire backyard, but once I hit that spot, I'm like, oh, it's like all of the weight just kind of falls off, So it's, yeah, I've had a lot of experiences, but I've never been able to connect why I was so drawn to those experiences until now. I think everything is just finally starting to come together and make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it had to do with being connected with you. And then there's another group that I've connected with, very similar people. And I have a lot of those, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Those kind of experiences. I've had a lot of those recently.
Well, remember, all memory is in your cells. So
yes,
it's all there. I'm hearing myself over there. Did you see what Stacy wrote, though?
No, let me go. Let's see. I think I saw Hyperion the other day. I couldn't figure out who he was. I Googled and the pic looks like the being I saw. Oh my gosh, wow.
She's not here for no reason, you know what I mean? Like there's, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's another confirmation in a sense of, the interconnection, the divine orchestration, this moment right now, or whatever comes forth in this, and, just being present here and in some way or shape or form, we have awakened on some level to something else. We've tuned into something else. We've triggered something else. And that's what all these moments are about, Yeah. And this is why I like, connecting. Like it doesn't matter if there's only a few viewers or a few people stop by, the ones that in this moment, there's really something for them that they're participating in, they'll be there, whether they're here for 5 minutes or they're here for 2 hours, and that's kind of the beauty of this. And what I was thinking today as I was watching you, when you were making your sculpture, and I was saying that, if this YouTube situation, I mean, this might seem really small or minuscule or nothing, but if this YouTube situation had not happened, demonetizing and creating, this community of people starting to, the creators supporting themselves, because, I am a creator really is a bigger picture there, because we are all creators, yes. God creators, and with the ultimate infinite creator. We're co-creators, but we are creators. And I thought, if that had never really happened, I might not have ever met you. And not to say that it couldn't happen another way. I'm just saying, in this way. We're connected with Michelle too. And some of this she likes to tune into, but some is not. She's, doing different things. But I feel a connection with her. But with you, I definitely feel that mystical, even, I know that you are more than what you're living at the moment, and who you are, even though we are all, beings, special beings, God beings. I just felt, so that's what I was thinking today. I was watching you make the sculpture, and I'm like, so if this hadn't happened, I probably may never come across you. Or maybe I would, maybe 20 years from now. I don't really know. So I could not criticize anything that's taken place within this whole situation. Would I like to still be monetized? Yes, I would. But whatever. If that's what's going to happen, that's the way it's going to go. Okay. But at the moment, I've connected with another goddess. And so that is, you know, that is, you can't, you know, put a price on that, and you can't, you know, it's invaluable to me. So, and I think that's another reason why today, that this was, you know, happening and special, because maybe it'll even help to trigger you, you know, in some ways. And maybe you'll be interested to look at these alchemical oils to, you know, further assist you with things like that. And it's a blessing for me too, because it's always so special to be able to assist in whatever way that is, whether it's to give a message or to facilitate something, or, you know, to co-experience something with somebody. For me, that's mystical, because my world, for me, I do live most of the time, in a sense, in the mystical world, but I still have to function in this world.
Right.
You know, so you have to blend both worlds to, you know, work and be fluid together. So yeah, I'm with myself most of the time, myself and my cats. Montu Steve only comes every 1 or 2 months, you know, back and forth, because he works in the States. But it's good that way for me, because of what I do, and because I like being in my mystical world, you know, and having the experiences or creating. And I think that's why I went more to my digital art right now, to go back to that. I always kind of come back around it, because I felt like not just me, but I felt like people could benefit from visual activations. That's why I called it a visual activation. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's what art does in a lot of different ways. Some ways, you know, different, and some ways, you know, very, very powerful, and why art can be very powerful. But my digital art, I sort of infuse, when I do this, frequencies. So not everybody will pick up on that, but for the most part, visually. Like one of my friends wrote, commented on the video. She is also an Umming student, but she wrote yesterday that, you know, she goes, I had to come back and look at it. You know, I love it because there's so many layers to it, right? And so that's a visual activation, because there are so many layers within that. And I feel that people maybe right now, even more so visually, will help to trigger, you know,
yes,
more mystical awakenings. Even if you don't understand it, it's still taking place, you know, on some level.
Yes,
yeah. And your art does that too. Your art does. It comes from a different place, but it's multi-layered. You know, like whenever I watch you, well, I've only seen it a few times. I'd love to see more, but I mean, the few times that I've seen you, you know, do your paintings, and I see them, you're going into your mystical self that you are, to bring forth that. I mean, just look at it. There's so much more there. That one that you had today, I'm pointing over there, but you're in a different room right now than you were earlier on your live. But you, I saw the one that you, I can't remember what it's called.
Yes, the one with the big eye and the dream catchers.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. That's the one you used my ASMR video to do?
Yes, yes, right. That was the one.
So I was thinking about that at some point. I'm thinking, I don't know, but I would love to have that. So, or maybe even a print of it. Yeah. So, and I was saying, because I know that there's so much more there in that picture. I'm getting really hot right now. Woo, hot. But also what I used to do a lot for people who are artists, and I have this wonderful, she's a wonderful friend. I haven't seen her in a long, long time because she's back in Canada, but she's an amazing muralist. I mean, like, oh my gosh, her work is fantastic. And so there was a time period when I was there, I used to go and activate her pictures for her, you know, her artwork. and through sound, through whatever. And she's very conscious, and she's very aware, and she would feel that. And so that's when for me personally, because that was a spontaneous thing that started happening for me back then. And so because I don't paint, though I did do abstract pastel work for a while, because I was trying to, I don't know, clear whatever I needed to clear within myself. So I would just do that intuitively. But outside of that, I don't paint or draw. And I'm sure I could if I, went to that place.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened is that when I started to spontaneously be able to kind of like access the frequencies more than just visually, but the frequencies of that have been inputted in the artwork that, whoever created it, not just with the colors have their own frequencies, right? And then the images have their own, whatever they represent or what they're trying to speak and say, right? Mm-hmm. But it was the frequencies. My body started to resonate because I was doing toning and sound healing at that point. So that's how I was activating people's artwork.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they could feel afterwards the difference. Then, they could feel the difference of the art. And so when I was looking at yours today, because I saw it in the corner there, I thought, I can activate that. Or there's something there to be activated. I didn't really think at the moment I can, because I'm sure other people could too, but there's something there that needs to be activated. Because when you do that, you will take it out of that corner, because I could feel like it was saying to me, why is it in that corner there, right? It needs to be up, because whatever is within that, the frequencies, those things can do things within your home,
Mm-hmm. And that's funny that you said that too, because as I was working with building the sculpture, I kept glancing at it in the corner, because of course I could see it in the corner of my monitor. And as I was doing something, I kept looking at it, and I was thinking, why do I have it sitting on the floor? And I'm there working with the sculpture. Why is it sitting on the floor? I should have it hanging up. And that was in my mind at the same time.
Well, then we were having the same thought while I was watching you there. Exactly. And so that is the picture itself. You're the creator of it, but it's the picture itself, because now it has taken on, it is a creation itself now. It has its own, consciousness, if you want to say. And so, yeah, it was speaking and saying, hey, yeah. So maybe we can do that if you're interested, offline or whatever, and see if we could activate it and then put it up. And yeah, so maybe if you get a print of it at some point, or if whether you choose to do that or not, it would be nice, because you will see that it will change. It will change. It might not visually look like, but then some people do see, right? And you're clairvoyant, so you may start to see. You may even start to become fluid. It will become fluid. That's what I got. That's it. It will become more fluid, like visual. It'll actually look more fluid.
Okay. All right. Definitely.
And your art can become that. That may be like, yeah. The more your abilities come online, the more they are heightened. Your things, everything becomes different. Everything that you start to create becomes more, alive and heightened and magnificent. Right. And I mean, you have such amazing abilities that just what I see, and I've probably only seen like that much, right? Being able, how you create, and that's your natural world for you. And that's your healing tool as well.
It is.
One of them, and that, and not just for self, but it can do that for others, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that this is a really wonderful time for you, even though you're, going through some valleys and, in that sense. But that's okay. That's, part of it. I just do want to share something that it's really going to start to accelerate.
Wow. Am I ready for the ride?
Well, not just for you, but really for all of us. Yes, some people are not going to have a sense of that. Some people don't have awareness. Some people do, but they don't understand it. And there's others of us who do understand it more so, but not completely, of course. But I just want to say that it is going to accelerate. So if you see things, something maybe going might seem drastic, or it might seem like a completely do a 380, whatever that may be, just kind of try to flow with it. And I'm speaking to myself as I say this also, but not just to you. Yeah, because there's this whole month for me, I feel, and I'm experiencing the, what's the right word? Like, it's just like going to a whole new reality. Like a whole new reality is about to be birthed in that sense. And that's what I see in my life, because the in-between stage of this feels, it almost feels like sometimes you're lost, or it feels like it's stagnant, or it feels like confusing, or it feels like nothing. I mean, there's all these different sort of sensations that, or unsure. I mean, there's different, everybody can experience, but that's the wave that's there. And for me, I always know this is when there's a great shift coming.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what's happening with me, because there's sometimes, and it happens to me mostly at night, and I think at nighttime is because I'm more relaxed and more open to it. But there are times when I'm laying down and I have these feelings like I'm not in the same place where I went to bed. I've had experiences where I wake up and I'm not, I don't know if I told you about this. I did the sketch of it when I woke up from this dream. I thought it was a dream. And I did the sketch, and then I did the research, and I actually found the image of where I was, and it was a very, very old place somewhere in Hungary, with a very old graveyard where I was actually standing talking to another guy who said he was here to visit his dad. When I thought he was visiting his dad who was still alive, but it was his dad whose grave was, a few hundred feet down. But I was physically there. That, because I woke up from this dream, and I managed to draw it, the entire thing where I was located. And when I looked at the image, I found the image online that I was actually there. Yes. So there are times when I've had experiences like that. But most of them have happened at nighttime and I think it's because I'm so relaxed during the night. When I go to bed, I'm just there, and I usually do my meditation, either before I go to bed, or I have meditation happening right as I'm laying down, kind of drifting off. But some people, I guess, call it astral traveling or lucid dreaming, but I was there.
Well, that's more lucid. That's lucid.
And so I think, I've had dreams before, but nothing as real as the dreams that I've been having recently. And the one that I did, there is another painting in there that I don't think you've seen, but that was another dream. And it was, I'm in the middle, I'm kind of like on this mountain, and it erupts. It's a volcano. It erupts, and all of these trees start popping up everywhere, and there's snakes that are wrapped around all of these trees. And I'm hopping from one place to the next, and the snakes aren't bothering me. The lava isn't bothering me. But everyone in that's connected to me, who is supposed to disconnect from me in some way, is being taken out in some form or another by the snakes. Either the snake is wrapping around them or is pulling them off, biting them, something. But all around me, there are people who are in my life. But I'm guessing it was a message to me that, in order for me to kind of elevate a little more, I'm going to have to disconnect from certain people and certain situations. And in this dream, nothing is bothering me, not the lava, not the snakes, nothing. But in this dream also, I'm going through a kind of a portal, and but the body that I'm going through with is completely different from the one that I started off with. Does that make sense?
Well, snakes, first of all, is transformation and shedding the old. So
yeah, there's so many messages that I got from this particular dream. So yeah, I can see the growth in me over the last few months, but I know that there's a whole other explosion that's going to be taking place.
Oh yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, for sure.
And I've been more open to it now that I know what's happening, I'm not so scared anymore. And I think I'm more open, especially since I've met people that can kind of help me on the journey and, kind of help with the questions that I may have, that sort of thing. So, well, one day I think I'll show you that painting. Yeah.
That would be cool.
I don't think I've shown it to anyone.
No?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
Well, that would be nice.
But yeah, that was one. And that was one I think I sat on for about 4 days because I had the dream, and it took me about 4 or 5 days, and it just kept saying, you need to paint, you need to paint, you need to paint, you need to paint. And I wouldn't. And then one day it was just like, you need to paint, you need to paint, you need to paint. And I said, okay, I got it. And I went in and I put the canvas up and I started painting. And it's all there. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Isn't it so beautiful? Like, we could talk like forever and ever and ever. There's so many things,
I know.
come up. It's amazing, and I like this, and I hope that some people who tune in later, I'm sure they'll get something, and we have some more cuckoo ones that stop by. They don't realize, that life is so much more than this. So much more. And but that's okay. That's all right. Everybody will wake up in their own timing.
True. That's true.
It is. Yeah.
Well, it's midnight here for me.
Yeah, I know. It's 11 here, but thank you. This was really wonderful. I think that I know that there's some people calling me or contacting me and talking about, dealing with sort of other things, more sort of negative or darker stuff. And it depends. I don't really want to have a show all on that. I would probably more come from the perspective of sharing to get an understanding, and that, how that can all be transformed and cleared and, seen in a different light. It doesn't mean that you don't have awareness or discernment. So we'll see about doing that. I know some people wanted to share, but I'd rather come from the more enlightening, evolving way, because that's what's going to transform, transfigure, transcend all of these other things that appear to be the opposite.
Right.
So we'll see, but yeah, we'll engage more. I will send you, I'll give you the link. I also want to send you, because you probably don't have it, but Almeen has a dream dictionary. It's a PDF. It's free, and it comes from the Toltec perspective, because she's also a Toltec. So I'm going to send you that, because you had, just to get an an idea, the symbols and all the different things that you can look up and maybe piece together a little bit more deeper understanding of the dreams, especially when there's so much symbology in it.
Yes.
So
okay. Thank
I'll
you.
send that over to you. All right, sweetie pie. Well, thank you.
Just send it. You're going to send it to me on Twitter, right? Or you?
No, I'm going to email. No, I'll email to you.
Okay.
Not on Twitter. No, Twitter's just for a quick DM or something. That's it. But I'll send it to you by email. So I want to thank people who tuned in. If you enjoy, there's someone here that's sitting there silently listening. Thank you so much for who's being there, and thank you, Stacy, so much, who's my warrior, in a sense of moderating. Oh, you're tickling me. Violet's tickling me. Thank you so much, and hopefully, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, share, and connect.
And thanks for having me again, Christina. It's
Thank you, darling. Yes. Sending you much love and a big hug.
Thank you.
And we'll talk real soon. All right. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night. Many blessings to everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye.